The Pogue star Shane MacGowan's funeral is taking place today, December 8, with fans and stars attending to their respects to the late singer. The procession for the late singer, who died 1 week ago at the age of 65, took place in Dublin before his funeral mass later in the afternoon in Tipperary, where Shane lived until he was 6 years old. Hundreds of mourners gathered in the streets of Dublin to pay their respects, with fans singing and dancing to the Pogue's hit songs. Shane was suffering from illness in the years before his death and was hospitalized for viral encephalitis, inflammation of the brain, and shingles in December 2022. The star was admitted to the ICU in June, with his wife Victoria Mary Clark sharing updates on his condition. He was discharged from St Vincent's Hospital in Dublin in November, just days before his death. Speaking about Shane following his death, Victoria said, "I am blessed beyond words to have met him and to have loved him and to have been so endlessly and unconditionally loved by him and to have had so many years of life and love and joy and fun and laughter and so many adventures." A mass, which will be open to the public, is taking place in Nina, his family's home place, where his father Maurice and sister Siobhan are still thought to live. The service will be held in St Mary of the Rosary Church, the same chapel where his beloved mother Therese MacGowan's funeral was held. 12:55 Zara Woodcock Victoria thanks the Irish police force. Shane's widow, Victoria, took to social media to thank the Irish police force for managing the crowd of mourners in Dublin on Friday morning. Hundreds gathered to pay their respects, with many singing and dancing to the Pogue's hit songs such as Fairy Tale of New York and Dirty Old Town, while the cortege made its way through Dublin. Now that the procession has ended, Shane's coffin is making its final journey to his funeral in County Tipperary. Journalist Victoria wrote on Twitter, "Thank you so much at Garda Traffic for your help today and for the escort for at Shane MacGowan." 12:48 Zara Woodcock Shane's final journey. Shane's coffin is taking its final journey after an emotional procession in Dublin. The coffin is moving to Nina in County Tipperary, where the funeral mass is taking place in the afternoon. He lived there until he was 6 years old. It's a 2-hour journey to the town. A mass, which will be open to the public, is taking place in Nina, his family's home place, where his father Maurice and sister Siobhan are still thought to live. The service will be held in St Mary of the Rosary Church, the same chapel where his beloved mother Therese MacGowan's funeral was held. 12:18 Key event procession ends. Shane MacGowan's funeral procession has ended. The cortege will now make its way to Nina in County Tipperary, where Shane's funeral will take place in St Mary of the Rosary Church this afternoon. Hundreds of mourners dispersed after singing, crying, and dancing while lining up the streets of Dublin to pay respect to the late star. 12:02 Key event Shane's widow is pictured as her car follows the carriage. Shane's widow Victoria Mary Clark kept positive as she smiled for the camera from the car she was sitting in. The black vehicle followed the horse-drawn carriage closely behind as it made its way through the streets. Victoria and Shane tied the knot in November 2018, after a decades-long relationship and subsequent 11-year engagement. The two married in Copenhagen and lived in Dublin. 11:36 Zara Woodcock mourners sing along to Dirty Old Town. While some mourners played Fairy Tale of New York through speakers, others sang along to another hit from the Pogues, Dirty Old Town. Mourners sang the song as they waited for the procession to pass through Westland Row. Musicians also gathered in central Dublin to play the hit song as everyone paid their respects while dancing and singing in memory of the late star. And now, the Artane band leading the procession started playing Fairy Tale of New York. 11:32 Zara Woodcock Fairy Tale of New York played through speakers. Fans clapped as the procession travelled through MacMahon Bridge in Dublin. The Pogue's iconic songs Fairy Tale of New York and A Rainy Night in Soho are being played through speakers as mourners continue to line the street. 11:17 Key event Shane's funeral procession begins as fans line the streets. The funeral procession is moving across MacMahon Bridge towards Pearse Street. His remains are being carried in a horse-drawn carriage. The Pogue's singer's coffin is adorned with an Irish flag as it travels to its destination. A black and white picture of Shane as a young man is placed in the window. Hundreds of fans have lined the streets as they follow the procession and pay their respects. 11:04 Zara Woodcock The funeral will celebrate the spiritual side of Shane. The public funeral mass, which will be live-streamed, will take place at St Mary's of the Rosary Church in Innina, County Tipperary, at 3:30 p.m. Father Pat Gilbert spoke to RTE and said that the funeral would celebrate the spiritual side of the singer. He explained, "It's a side of him that's not known, but it's a side of him we must celebrate. It's a side that was important to him in the context of his living of his life. We will have the rite of reception, we'll have mass, and we'll have the rite of final accommodation interspersed with pieces of his music which will be performed by some of his friends. I think that's the right thing to do, that's the way to celebrate the man, the faith, the music and the lyric. It's the way to celebrate and remember the husband, the brother, the son and the brother-in-law." 10:41 Zara Woodcock mourners gather as one recalls meeting Shane. Mourners and fans of the star are gathering in Dublin for the procession, which will begin at 11 a.m, ahead of the funeral. One of the mourners, 60-year-old Aidan Grimes, reminisced about watching the Pogues live for the first time. Speaking to PA, he said, "I remember the first time I saw the Pogues in the Hammersmith Odeon in 1985. It is imprinted in my mind forever, just the madness and mayhem, the raucous nature of his singing and the music they were playing. Through the years he evolved into a great poet and he will be sadly missed. I met him in Dublin about 15 years ago and he was a very charming, nice, friendly man." He talked about music and his time in London. "I thought it was important to pay my respects. He was an icon of Dublin, just like Brendan Behan, Luke Kelly. His music will be listened to in 100 years' time." Kevin Sexton said the singer opened doors for Irish people living in England. He made Irish people proud to be Irish at a time in London when it was a very difficult time to be Irish, he said. "The Troubles were in full tilt. A lot of terrible things happened. Shane MacGowan opened doors. He introduced Irish culture and his own unique writing ability and voice and style that opened up a mix of Irish music plus rock plus punk. His whole unique persona transformed into song that enlightened the world." 10:30 Key event Book of Condolences set up for fans to pay respects. Lord Mayor of Dublin Daithí de Rochta has set up a book of condolence for the people of Dublin to pay their respects to the family of the Pogues singer. An online version has also been set up. The Lord Mayor said, "On behalf of the people of Dublin I would like to express my condolences to Shane MacGowan's family and many friends. I knew he had been very ill, but today's news still came as a shock, as I'm sure it did to many of us. It is especially poignant that the writer of one of the most universally loved Christmas songs has passed away at this time of year. Shane was truly a one-off, and his loss will be felt by people right across this city and indeed the entire country. I have opened a book of condolence in the Mansion House for people who would like to leave a message for Shane's family in person. The Mansion House will be open for people to pay their respects from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. today, and Friday and Saturday between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Rest in peace Shane, and thanks for the music. People can sign the book here. 10:13 Amy Denman, the Pogue star's wife, says her heart is bursting with love as hundreds expected to attend funeral. Shane MacGowan's wife Victoria Mary Clark has said her heart is bursting with love over the huge expected turnout at the star's funeral today. She shared a picture of herself and her late husband on Instagram, who died at the age of 65, and said she found it incredible that so many were set to make the effort to pay their respects to the fairy tale of New York star. She wrote, "Tomorrow is Shane's funeral, which is hard to believe, and probably I won't believe it for a while. Shane hated funerals and he refused to go to them with a few rare exceptions. So it's incredible to think that so many people want to come to his, and that so many beautiful people are pouring their hearts and souls into making it magnificent and magical and memorable for him and for us who are left behind. I am feeling my heart bursting open in all directions with the amount of love that is being showered on us, and most especially because everyone has their own problems and challenges, and everyone has their own loved ones who they need to look after. I feel that Shane is with me all the time, and that he is feeling intense appreciation and gratitude, and that he is still sending love to everyone, and maybe in a more powerful way from where he is now. I couldn't have possibly asked for a more precious and enduring love affair as a human, and I got so much from my relationship with Shane that it would be greedy to want more. I would love to say to anyone who is in a relationship with someone who has problems with addiction or anxiety or depression to please get healing and help for yourself, and to take care of yourself, and you will find that it gives you the strength to keep going and to be able to enjoy your love. And to anyone who is in fear of losing someone, just know that millions of angels are watching you and supporting you. And if you don't want to come to the funeral, Shane would definitely understand, he wouldn't want to go either. But if you want to remember him, the next time you see a homeless person, stop and give them your time and your compassion and your respect, and treat them like a brother or a sister." 09:33 Zara Woodcock. Shane's smile lit up everyone around him. Victoria took to social media after he died to share her hope that others struggling with the loss of a loved one can find happiness, as she branded her late husband vibrant, beautiful and determined to live. On Monday, she wrote on X, "It's so hard to believe that someone could be so vibrant and beautiful and so determined to live only a few days ago. But so many people are losing loved ones all over the world. My prayers are for all of you guys, as Shane's would be." Shane was always able to smile right until the last, and his smile had a way of lighting up everyone around him, no matter how much he was struggling or in pain. "I hope this smile can still work its magic." 09:05 Zara Woodcock. Shane's widow spent 35 years worrying about his death. Victoria recently said she spent 35 years worrying about his death as he pushed the boundaries so much of what humans can do to their bodies. Appearing on Good Morning Britain, she discussed their relationship and how he supported her in all her endeavors. She said, "I loved standing on the side of the stage watching him. It wasn't always easy, as you will know, because he pushed the boundaries and he was reckless and he was very unconventional. So it was like watching a racing driver and not knowing if they were going to crash, watching him going on stage. I think for most of you watching, the biggest fear you probably have is that you're going to lose a loved one. And it's going to happen, you can't really get around that, you all are going to lose a loved one. And I know that, for me, I spent many years, probably at least 35 years, worrying about losing Shane because he just pushed the boundary so much of what humans can do to their bodies. So I dreaded that, and I thought that I would fall apart, I thought I would die, I thought I would not be able to speak, I thought I'd be comatose or on drugs myself or something like that. So I just want you all to know that it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. And there's a huge amount of love that comes your way when you lose someone that you didn't really expect. And in my case, you know, I've been overwhelmed by how much love and support there is. 08:43 Zara Woodcock. Shane's wife's heart bursting with love from support. When Victoria shared a post about Shane hating funerals, she revealed she was in awe at the number of people who wanted to attend to pay their respects. Tomorrow is Shane's funeral, which is hard to believe, and probably I won't believe it for a while. Shane hated funerals and he refused to go to them with a few rare exceptions, she said. So it's incredible to think that so many people want to come to his and that so many beautiful people are pouring their hearts and souls into making it magnificent and magical and memorable for him and for us who are left behind. I am feeling my heart bursting open in all directions with the amount of love that is being showered on us, and most especially because everyone has their own problems and challenges and everyone has their own loved ones who they need to look after. 08:36 Zara Woodcock. High-profile stars expected to attend. High-profile guests such as President of Ireland Michael D. Higgins and close friends including Johnny Depp and U2 singer Bono are expected to attend. Members of the public are also welcome to come and share in their great memories of Shane. After the service, Shane will be cremated privately. 08:34 Zara Woodcock funeral route confirmed starting in Ringsend at 10:30 a.m., close to where Shane and his partner Victoria Mary Clark resided. The coffin will arrive at Shelbourne Park Greyhound Stadium and will be transferred to a horse-drawn carriage. The Artane Band and a piper will then lead the carriage and family cars onto South Lots Road, across McMahon Bridge and down Pierce Street to Westland Row. The procession will cross over to Lincoln Place into Fenian Street and then on to Denzile Lane. Here, Shane's coffin will be transferred back into the hearse. Gardaí will put a traffic management plan in place, with some road closures and traffic held at junctions during the procession. After this, the hearse and family cars will leave for Nina in Tipperary. The folk singer's funeral mass will take place in St Mary of the Rosary Church on Friday afternoon. It will be open to the public and is expected to be attended by President Michael D. Higgins and leading figures from the music industry. Shane's ashes will be scattered on the Shannon, which inspired his famous The Broad Majestic Shannon, after a cremation ceremony. The funeral arrangements will be made by J.J. Ryan's, which is run by Shane's lifelong friend, Philly Ryan. 08:33 Zara Woodcock. Shane's wife said he hated funerals ahead of his funeral. Victoria Mary Clark, whom he married in 2018, took to social media to share a throwback photo of the two of them, before sharing an emotional about how he hated funerals. Tomorrow is Shane's funeral, which is hard to believe and probably I won't believe it for a while, she began. Shane hated funerals and he refused to go to them with a few rare exceptions. So it's incredible to think that so many people want to come to his and that so many beautiful people are pouring their hearts and souls into making it magnificent and magical and memorable for him and for us who are left behind. I am feeling my heart bursting open in all directions with the amount of love that is being showered on us, and most especially because everyone has their own problems and challenges and everyone has their own loved ones who they need to look after. I feel that Shane is with me all the time and that he is feeling intense appreciation and gratitude and that he is still sending love to everyone and maybe in a more powerful way from where he is now. I couldn't have possibly asked for a more precious and enduring love affair as a human, and I got so much from my relationship with Shane that it would be greedy to want more. Victoria went on to provide advice for those in a relationship with people with addiction or mental health issues. She continued, "I would love to say to anyone who is in a relationship with someone who has problems with addiction or anxiety or depression to please get healing and help for yourself, and to take care of yourself, and you will find that it gives you the strength to keep going and to be able to enjoy your love. And to anyone who is in fear of losing someone, just know that millions of angels are watching you and supporting you. And if you don't want to come to the funeral, Shane would definitely understand, he wouldn't want to go either. But if you want to remember him, the next time you see a homeless person, stop and give them your time and your compassion and your respect and treat them like a brother or a sister.